Good morning, beautiful, blessed people. It is Sunday. I'm currently on my way to the gym. I have kind of been taking it easy with my gym routine just because I got my period, and so I've just been doing like light cardio and like a lot of stretching because I didn't want to go too hard. I've been very, very tired lately. You can hear that I just woke up in my voice. I've just been really tired, and I'm allowing myself to chill a bit more instead of like constantly push myself. I'm listening to my body. Like, it's not that I'm not doing anything, but I'm just like, I'm tweaking my routine so that it reflects my energy levels, because if I'm dead tired and feel so lethargic, I'm not gonna like do all these things that I do on the days when I feel super high energy, because that's not realistic. Especially when you're a woman, you really have to like adjust your routine to the different phases of your period, and it is hard to kind of find that flow and that balance with yourself because our cycles are changing so much. But just give yourself grace. There's so many things hard about being a girl and just life in general, so when you mix trying to like be on top of your routine into that, it just, don't stress yourself out, but just try your best to find the flow and listen to your body. Today I want to talk about trusting where you are led. I think about this a lot, kind of like how things always just work out for you, and you can be going through like the worst thing of your life, but it always ends up working out. So like an example, me and my sister had to move out, I guess it's like 2 years ago now. Time, honestly, I have no concept of time anymore. Ever since my brother passed away, like the concept of time, I don't understand it. That was like 2.5 years ago, but it feels like it was yesterday, and then it also feels like, I don't know. Time literally like is gone. I don't have any like memory of what's happened in the last 2.5 years, because grief also like makes you have memory issues. So anyways, I don't know when I fucking moved out with my sister. All I know is that it was like 2 years ago, or maybe, no, sorry, it was a year ago. Okay. It was a year ago, last December, we had to move out. And we found this place in a city next to ours, which we were kind of bummed about because we didn't want to like move away from our home city. Like we've been living in that city since we moved to it when we were children. We moved to the city, so we've been living there ever since. We did not want to move from it, and the city next to it is kind of like more sketchy and like I don't know, we just didn't want to move there, but we were like, okay, but we don't really have a choice. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you don't have a lot of money and you find a place to live that's the right amount of money, you go to that place because you don't have all these options when you just need somewhere to go. So we find this place, it's within our budget, and we moved there. And I was looking to leave my job that I've been at for a long time. I wasn't currently working there. I was on a leave, and I was like, okay, like what am I going to do with my life? Like, I can't do this job. I can't go back to it. Not after my brother died. I'm not going back to that hell hole, because it was a hell hole. It was a pit, okay? I was like, I'm not going back there. Like, I refuse. So I started applying places, but I also told you guys that last year is when I really started getting into my like health routine and my whole journey of following all these goals of like being single and just like wanting to change my life. So I really was trying to prioritize the gym. So I was going to this gym by our new place, and I didn't like it anymore. The guys there are really creepy, and it was just a very like bodybuilder jock mentality there, as well as it just smelled really bad, and I just didn't like it. I was like, I don't want to go here anymore. So I saw that down the street there was a gym that I already had a membership for previously in my hometown, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check this one out. I didn't even know there was one here. Let's go check it out. So I go, and I switched my membership to there, and I started working out there, and I was super depressed at this time. Like, I was newly single, had just been cheated on. I was trying to find my self-worth. I was going to the gym late at night, trying to just like better myself. And I would be at the gym just like in my own head, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I was also like obsessing over this guy at the time that I shouldn't have been talking to. Like, he was not good for my self-worth. And so then one day, I'm at the gym and I see on the front desk there's a job application thing. It says, we're hiring. And I'm like, oh. And then it says in small letters, it says general manager. And I was like, oh, cool. Because I was like thinking like, oh, maybe I could just like work at a gym. But then when I saw that it was a manager, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then I was like, but I'm not qualified for that. But then I was like really getting into manifestation and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I should just apply just for fun, like without any expectations. Because I remember seeing these girls on TikTok talk about how they were so delusional with everything that they ended up getting everything they ever wanted. Like, there was this one girl talking about how she like applied to all these schools and she was always just super delusional about it and then ended up getting into them, and she said she didn't really have the best grades. Like, so I was thinking about that girl in my head, and I was just like, what if I just applied just for fun? And then I was also envisioning like months later, like I somehow got the job and then I like make a TikTok about it. So then I was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna do it, why not? So I spent like 3 hours on my resume, and while I'm making my resume, like I actually realized I was more qualified than I thought I was. I looked at the job description and you didn't really need manager experience, but I had like leadership experience in my previous job, as well as like sales experience and customer service experience. And like honestly, resumes, it's just about taking all of your experience and tailoring it to be perfect for that job. So like, it's taking all of the things that you've learned and not just dumping it all onto one page, but taking specific things and crafting it and showing them like, why is that gonna help you in this job? So that's exactly what I did. I crafted the perfect fucking resume. I spent 3 hours on it and I sent it away, and I didn't really get attached to it, but I was low-key thinking like, it would be pretty cool if I heard back from a manager job. Like, that would be pretty cool, especially for a gym when I'm like really getting into fitness. I think that would be cool. Then I heard back and I was like, oh my God, no way. So I had a 10-minute interview and it went really fucking good. And I was like, oh my God. And I was also doing like meditations and affirmations at this time and like telling myself like, and I was really working on my self-worth. And I believe like that's a huge part in why I got the job, because I just like really like was telling myself like, why can't you do this? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you are like able to do this. And I was just starting to like tell myself, I wasn't telling myself lies, I was telling myself truths, and realizing that, wow, I actually like am this and I am that. So that's what manifestation really is. It's not about lying to yourself, it's about realizing what's already there, because you guys don't understand, like, you actually are capable of doing anything that you want to do. You just don't realize it yet. And once you like actually have that epiphany, that's when the energy shift happens. And so I had the 10-minute interview, and then she called me back and said she wanted to do an hour-long interview. And then I got really scared. And guys, I'm a really anxious person. Like, I hate interviews, but I was like, you know what? No, I can fucking do this. And long story short, I ended up getting the job, and I was so proud of myself. And that, to me, like, I think back now and I'm just like, what if we never moved to this city? What if I never started going to that gym? Like, I never would have been where I am now. And I think about that all the time, because it's just so crazy that like the relationships you end up forming and the experiences you end up having, and then you think back to, oh, well, what if I never even came here? Like, I never would have had these experiences, and it's just really trippy to think about. So I encourage you guys to do this about maybe something in your life that like went wrong. Like, think about where it led you now, and think about like, okay, what did you learn from that experience that actually like you needed to be who you are now? And once you start like doing that and making those mental connections, it starts to make you kind of like see the good in things and realize like, okay, when things go wrong, they're not actually going wrong. There's a purpose for this, and it's leading to something better. And that's how I've been able to kind of cope with the grief with my brother, because although it's horrible that it happened, and there's nothing in this universe that I would want more than my brother being here. Like, even if it leads me to something greater, there's nothing, like, obviously I would want my brother here more, but it's helped me shift my mindset, because I have two choices. I can either be sad and miserable and just be like, oh my god, my brother's gone, or I can try, and I can think of, okay, well, what can come from this? Who can I help with this information that I've learned and the experience that I have from him? Like, who can I help? What can I teach to them? And so now I'm thinking about all the possibilities. Like, maybe I'm meant to teach people about work safety because he died at work, or maybe I'm meant to teach people about like the lessons I learned from his life. Like, you know what I mean? So like, you don't know where the experiences are gonna lead you, and you need to trust that there is a power that, although it doesn't feel like it's always taking care of you, it is, and there's a greater reason for why it's doing the things it's doing and putting you through those experiences. Some things just, and sometimes you are just like, okay, I feel like there really was no point to that. Like, truly, like, why did I need to go through that? That was honestly bullshit. But I still feel like sometimes things just come down to character building. Like, you wouldn't be strong without going through hardships. You wouldn't be patient without going through fucking things that test that. Like, you wouldn't be anything that you are without the opposite of that happening to teach you how to become that. Like, God doesn't just give you these attributes. He fucking builds them within you. And that's the beautiful thing, is like, you can sit there and say, like, nobody gave me this. Nobody taught me this. I learned it. I earned it. And once you see it that way, it's really fucking cool. And I just hope that this gives you guys some sort of encouragement when you're going through hard things. I know it's easier said than done in the moment, but working on your mindset over time, it becomes easier to naturally see things that way. Instead of forcing yourself, it'll become like second nature, where you're just like, nope, I don't care what it looks like right now. I know that it's becoming something better for me and everyone else in this universe. Anyways, my name is Sydney. If you like my vibe, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!